G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Aussie Starcraft, where we're bringing you some more of the amazing games that took place at MLG's Game On, a recent online tournament that was held in January. Now we're casting a great series of games from Group B on day 2. This is actually the winners bracket, so in the top left hand corner as our purple Protoss we have a Root State. The top right hand corner is our blue Zerg, we have EG's Suppy. So it will be a Protoss versus Zerg matchup here in Game 1 of the winners bracket. It is a best of 3 series. The first player to take 2 games will progress into the round of 8, and the loser will fall down and unfortunately not continue on in this tournament. So both these players obviously very serious about competing here and looking forward to moving on into the next stage of the tournament. So to give you a little bit of an overview of what took place in the group state, in Group B we had Neeb, Suppy, State and Noni. Obviously, if our winners bracket is Suppy and State, both these players took 2 games each to find their way into this winners match here. Neeb unfortunately got 2-0'd, so he'll be playing in the losers match along with Noni, who was also only able to secure a single win. So as we established yesterday when we talked a little bit about the format of the tournament, Game On's a sort of a strange format in that each group will progress 2 people into the round of 8. The first will be the victor of the winners match, and then the second player will be the victor of the finals match, which is actually determined by the loser of this match versus the winner of the losers match. So if you can wrap your head around that, so one of these players will progress and the other one will have an opportunity to beat verse the loser of the winner of the losers match and take that second slot. So it looks like Root State's going for a very fast expand opening here, actually going Nexus before Gateway here on Frost, which isn't hugely uncommon given the sheer size of Frost as a map. But still a little bit risky, particularly against the Zerg player of Suppy's character. Suppy tends to be quite aggressive and certainly a little bit unconventional, so wouldn't surprise me to see Suppy 10 pool or do something out of the ordinary, even on a map this size. Of course, it does rely on getting the correct scout off, and given that Suppy hasn't seen his opponent as of yet, unlikely that we'll see anything timed quite that quickly. Have State here walling off at the natural expansion, already taken both his gas in the main, and be interesting to see which tech path he takes now that his cyber core has gone down. If we check out Suppy's side of the field, we have a gas on the way, almost up to 100 gas now. I imagine we'll see Zergling speed on its way shortly. First Queen also coming out now, 1 out at the natural. And I think we'll have a little bit of a macro game on our hands. This looks like the Queen's going to attempt to try and take out this drone. Perhaps this Zergling can finish the job, and indeed he does. First Blood does go to our hero Zergling here. He's going to continue scouting out around the map. We have first sentry on the way for State, going to use that to wall off nice and solidly. Overlord is doing his preliminary flyover, trying to scout what tech choices have been made. A little bit early for that, unfortunately. Tech choice tends to not be thrown down just yet. But big question is whether or not this Overlord will make it to safety, or whether State will be able to tickle it to death with this sentry. It's quite close to the edge of the map, and as you know, sentries have a notoriously slow rate of fire. Looks like this Zergling might actually secure the Overlord's retreat by hacking away at that pylon rather fruitlessly. Looks like Suppy's going for quite a greedy macro opening. Third hatch coming down now. In this location, obviously much more popular choice for expanding based on its proximity to your natural expansion, and the fact that this, as a base, particularly when you're at spawning on the left and right hand sides, it's extremely easy for this base to be threatened from units on the high ground. So definitely the more common choice to expand away from your opponent. And we can see that Suppy's keen for a bit of a macro game. State, on the other hand, it's grabbed another sentry and managed to take down the Overlord. It hasn't thrown down any... Oh, actually, there it goes now. The robotics facility now coming down along with 3 other gateways. So it's very likely we'll be seeing a two base timing here out of State. From the initial sentries, and particularly this third manually built, so not warped in sentry, it's very likely we'll see some sort of sentry immortal timing. We actually have 3 more coming on, and that's virtual surety of that confirmation there. Forge also on the way, perhaps for an early upgrade. The Zergling does go down, and we'll see how Suppy decides to respond to this. He did see 6 sentries there as they took out his Zergling, and he has got a few more Zerglings out on the map, getting active. Going to see the rest of these sentries moving out, and we do see Suppy respond straight away with some roaches. So 4 roaches coming out now, as well as some static defense coming down. And I think there's a great choice from Suppy. He's going to want a few of these spine crawlers, particularly with the volume of force fields. Makes it very difficult for the roaches to get in close range. So if Suppy can grab some static defense like the spine crawl, is certainly going to assist him in this coming engagement. You can see Suppy here trying to conceal his units off to the side, but is that a hallucinated phoenix perhaps that died up there in the main base? We have Suppy just trying to clean out some of these naturally occurring choke points, trying to ensure he can get a nice big surround in the coming engagement. State producing a few stalkers here, but Suppy plenty of Zerglings and roaches here. The real question is, when will we see some immortals? And we actually have an immortal and a warp prism, so interesting little mix up here from State. Normally you see the immortals try to power through the main door. It looks like State's actually going to go for some sort of immortal drop in the main base. And I love that choice from State. The ability to drop the immortals in the main base and then force field the ramp makes it incredibly easy to take out the Zerg main base. Certainly one of my favourite strategies in this matchup. So we're excited to see how State manages to play this out. Warp Prism is on its way. This will also provide a fairly close proximity for any warp in reinforcements. Have another 3 gateways almost finished up, and these should finish up just in time for the attacks. So there's a gorgeous 2-base timing out of State. Lots of sentries and stalkers on the way here. +1 attack almost finished up. This is just a perfectly executed time attack. You can see the 10-minute mark. We have the immortals here at the front. We also have the warp prism. Okay, so it looks like the immortals aren't going to be dropped in the main base, but they are in fact here with the remainder of the force. Warp prism still here to threaten the main if necessary. It could be a warp in of zealots or anything else just to threaten the main base with that. We do have 7 warp gates established now, 17 roaches on the way for Suppy, so there's going to be a massive flood of units as Suppy rushes up to 142 supply. A substantial supply advantage, but the real question is, can he bring these forces to bear against State? We have State here, big blink forward into the middle of the roaches. We may get rid of that just to better see this battle as it engages. We see State here taking up great position here in the middle of the map. Unfortunately, Suppy is managing to get quite a large concave here around the force. Unfortunately, some of the roaches unable to fire is starting to turn this battle in State's favour. It looks like State may well have busted straight through Suppy's force here, and State and Suppy will GG out of the game. So just a fantastically executed time attack. Very surprised that State took the battle in such an open location, but able to get great force fields there and keep the roaches from being able to bring their firepower to full effect, and able to take a decisive victory in game 1. So hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was a fantastic execution of the push from State. Protoss players out there should take serious note of that one. I know I did, and I'll probably be watching this replay again for a few pointers. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and by all means, if this is your first time on the channel, please subscribe. We look forward to seeing you here again in the future, and as for everyone else, we look forward to seeing you in game number 2, which will be coming up right after this. Thanks guys.